Welcome back to the channel, guys. I promised you 2 videos this Easter weekend. It's not the video that I wanted it to be because I'm still waiting for gaskets to arrive for the gearbox rebuild. But that doesn't mean to say that we can't get a few jobs ticked off the list in the meantime, because we are up against it with time. And because I've got so many different areas of the bike in bits, I wanted to start bagging up a few bits. This is not what we're doing all video, don't panic. Just wanted to start bagging up some of the nuts and bolts, hopefully make life a little bit quicker when we do come to put it all back together, instead of me walking around the garage swearing because I can't find anything. I've had a few new bits arrive, which I'll show you in a minute. We got a little bit more machining to do, because had one idea from my friend Steve over on TTA 850. I'll link to his channel below, about one of the rear spacers on the rear wheel that neither me nor him both need anymore, and it's something that I thought about last year. So I think I can machine exactly what I need out of what we've got, so we can do that. Another thing with these braided hose oil fittings, we can do that. Do you ever write notes and then don't understand your own notes? I hate it when that happens. Right, so what have we got that's arrived, guys? So we got, what have we got in here? Let's have a little look. This is needle roller bearing, the one with a enclosed outer case. That's for the gearbox, so that's here. That's good. But it's the gaskets we're waiting for. These are the adapters for the Evo engine crankcase, so that we can get a right angle and bring our oil pipe out without hitting on this gearbox plate here that's covered up because it's freshly coated. So we've got those, they all fit, they arrive, so that's good. Just ticking little bits off the list, guys, that's all. I've got another welding adapter that's arrived for the oil tank, that's needed for part of the conversion. If you watched Friday's video, or the last video I should say, we've done 2 of them and I've got 1 left to go. Hopefully. Why does that feel and look like aluminium? We do not want that. Uh-oh, that's a magnet. That's not good. Okay, let me check that order. Maybe we're not doing that today. That would be a shame. And I've got to drop a few bits off to the powder coaters. Well, 2 bits really. And I thought I might as well drop the oil pump cover off. It's manky. We're putting the braided hoses in the front. It's off already. I might as well get it recoated while I'm there. So I'm going to drop that off. Got some new seals arrived for the gearbox and different areas. So actually they're all for the gearbox. So they're here. It's just basically the gasket set that we're still waiting for, which is a shame. So good. Right, what was we going to do? We're going to take this to the powder coaters. So this little blank here probably needs to come out. I wonder what sort of size it is. It's going to be, yeah, there we go. that was tight. So that's that out. Let's pop that in there. So that can go. The other thing that's got to go is the primary drive cover. Now, you know that we made some new bushes for it, so they're all done, and we're super happy with those. But there's a few bits in here that need to come out. It's just the primary drive chain adjuster, the track for that, and there's the starter motor mechanism between the solenoid and the actual starter motor itself at the top here. So that needs to come out. So we can get that done today and dropped off tomorrow. So there's a, don't know if you guys can see it, there's a grub screw at the top of the primary drive cover. There's a shaft that runs inside the primary drive cover. That should push out the top. It's coming out now, look. So that's going to pull out of there like that. And then we've got our mechanism here for the starter motor with the rubber boot on, so we can bag that up. So that's the first thing. And the next thing is the track where the adjuster runs, so we should probably get that out as well. And there's a little drain plug on the back here. Let's pop that out. Just make for a nicer job, won't it? I'm sure the guys won't mind masking it off. There we go. One of those. That's tight. Okay, maybe that's going to stay in then. It won't be coated on the inside, so maybe that can stay as it is. Right, so these bits can go by the door. They can go off to the powder coaters tomorrow. So, spoke about these in the last video, guys. These are a 1/8 MPT to AN6 adapter, which screws straight into the top of the oil pump housing on the Evo engine. But I can't fit two together because of the size of the hex on the actual adapter itself. You see that? Yeah, so they're in the way of each other. Now, as one of my subscribers pointed out, they're alley, they're not going to rust. I've got a few of these. Let's pop one in the vise and let's turn the hex off of it and see what it looks like and see if that will help us out. Now, I've got some AN6 nuts that I can wind on the top to be able to still wind them in and tighten them up and take them back off. So no problem tightening them up. So let's pop one of these in the vise, in the lathe, and see what it looks like once we've turned it down, shall we? Now, I don't want to damage the thread, so I've got these homemade little brass covers that I just pop over the jaws of my lathe so I don't damage anything that is a soft material. I'm sure there's something fancy you can get to do it. Oh, I need to get the Hoover out here and clean the lathe off. We've been doing a lot of machining for this bike recently, and we've got brass and copper and alley everywhere. Okay, I need to go just a touch further. You can still see parts of the hex there. There we go, that's one done. Nearly enough space now for the second one. So if I do the same to this one, we're going to be in a good place. And that will be a lot better than having one pointing up straight and one at a right angle. Look at that, job's a good one. So that's one little job ticked off the list. And while I'm waiting for parts, I think that's probably the best we can do. Oh, I've just noticed something else. I bet you guys have as well, haven't you? Getting the two unions on there together. I wonder if they're too close together now. So let's see if we've just scrapped two adapters. So right angle or straight, it doesn't matter. The fitting size is still the same. It's close, but you can physically get them both on there, but you can't tighten them up. So we will have to use a couple of right angles coming straight out the housing, which we've already got because that's what it had originally, and then the adapters, and then whatever fittings we need. No, okay, it's a little bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. We tried. Okay, at least that was only a 5-minute job. So let's get these back out so this can go off and be powder coated again. So the next job, guys, is this rear wheel spacer. Now, my bike originally left the factory in 1983 with an enclosed chain case and a self-oiler system for the chain. Great idea. We don't have that anymore. If you followed this from the beginning, this series, I've never had that, okay, since I got the bike. We got a new chain and sprocket, and we treat it like you would any chain and sprocket with some cleaning and some oiling. But I'm left with this aluminium adapter, which makes up part of the spacer for the rear wheel over the spindle. Okay, we still need this bit, but we don't need this bit. This used to have an oil seal over the top for the enclosed chain case, and this used to, or still has got, the threads in it to bolt your enclosed chain case to. Don't need any of that. It's quite big, it's quite bulky. I'm going to try and machine it down to something a lot smaller, but this bit is a slight concern. So let's see how we get on with this. So let's pop that in the vise. Let's just change some tooling here. So we're getting to the stage now, guys, where we've got the original cutout, which I wasn't too happy about, but now we've half exposed 4 other cutouts where the holes were for the captive nuts. So I'm just taking very light cuts, and so far so good. We won't take that out yet. It is hot. But you can see what we've achieved, guys. We've basically taken, let me get a rag. You can see what we've done, guys. We've taken that outer flange off. It wasn't needed anymore. You'll probably find that I don't need half of this again, but until we have got it back on the bike, my old man has already changed the rear tyre for us on his tyre machine, so that's that little job done. But until we test fitted it, I don't want to take any more than that off. Now we've already half the size of it, the weight of it, I should say, not the size, well, and the size. And it doesn't look so ugly and, you know, look like it's in there just for the sake of being in there anymore. I just wanted to try probably not going to be able to square this up how I want. Okay, managed to just knock the nasty edge off that we just created with a file. So good. Ouch, that's hot. So, yeah, happy with that, guys. That is another little job done. Something else tidied up. Right, on to the next little job, shall we? Right, so the next little job to do, guys, is on the main gearbox casing, which, as you know, if you've been watching, has been nicely re-powder coated and vapor cleaned. So that's vapor blasted, I should say. So this is all looking really nice. We've got the new needle roller bearing, which has to go in here, and a new main bearing to put in here. So though we can't finish the gearbox, let's try to make life a little bit easier in the future when the parts arrive. So put a little bit of grease in there, bit of an aluminum block, and let's see how much of a well, that was nice and easy, because the old one was a little bit of a pain to get out. Might just need one. There we go. There's one in, so that's nice. You can see that. That's the new one in there. The next one is this one. So this bearing here, nice new bearing. It's a 6009. This one just pops down into here. Again, bit of grease just to help it along its way. And we use a bearing driver for this one. Let's see if this will go in easy or if it needs a proper hammer. Okay, that one did start to go in a little bit wonky, so I just had to square it back up, my fault, and then knock it in, and then it went in nice and easy. So new needle roller bearing, shaft sits in one end of that, and then the new main bearing is in there, so that's those in. So that is splendiferous. I think we've got some other bearings to do. Go into this housing here, which has also been nicely recoated. And we've got a couple of new bearings here. One here, let me just check these are right. Yeah, so I just wanted to check those on the shaft. They're right, and check them against the old bearings, so everything's good. These bearings are 6204s. So if you're looking to, like me, save money on bearings, make sure you get the correct bearing for the job, but no need to buy expensive Harley Davidson bearing kits. When a bearing is a bearing, you can get it from anywhere. The numbers are generally on them. So let's get these ones in, and that'll be another little job ticked off the list. See how it works out. That's one that needs to go a touch further. Let's just get the other one in the same position. Bit more grease. And we can use a little bearing press to get it the rest of the way. One. Two. So that's the new bearings fitted in there. All lovely. Good stuff. So that's another little job ticked off the list. Right. Let's get the next little job, shall we? Right. The next on the list is the panniers that have got to go off to the body shop and all be repainted. So I've got to get all of these old seals off, and any bracket or anything that is not going to be painted and that can be removed has got to come off. So we'll start by getting these horrible seals that have all had it anyway. So we'll get all this lot off. This is just like square, sticky back, foamy, rubbery stuff. I don't know. I'm going to assume it should be fairly easy to find a reel of this. Seems pretty universal. So we got to get these off. and I'll put it back together with these tiny little stainless fittings instead of the rivets, which you'll see we'll be drilling out in a minute on all the rest of the brackets. This bracket that I'm taking off is not standard, guys. It's because the as you will see in a second, the latches and the locks for my panniers go through the rear indicator on both sides, and that doesn't seem to be super duper common. Maybe 1 year only. You guys will probably know better. Drop it in the comments if you do. I just can't find any replacement parts for them, so I had to come up with another way of doing it, basically. Ouches. You lot knew that was going to happen. Now I'm leaking. I think I need to go and get a plaster, don't I, guys? Right, let's mop some blood up. Right, so that's one lid completely stripped, so that can go off. Right, nothing like a bit of workshop rag and some electrical tape to bandage yourself up. So the next thing we've got to do is the actual pannier itself. We need to get the rear indicator out, which is easy, and that's where my lock should be. And in here I have like a twist on bolted connection. It's not lockable, but I don't leave anything in them, and it works really well. So that's the indicator out. So there's not too much to take off of these. There's a little bracket at the back here, which just holds the back of the lid in place. And that's it for the panniers, guys. They can go off and be repainted. Well, you know, that's one side done. I don't think you need to see me drill holes in my thumbs twice, so I'll do the other side in a second. Let's start bagging some of these little bits up. And the indicator. So the panniers are being painted, so are the side covers. Now one side cover has got nothing on, which is good. And this is the cover for the oil tank. So we've got one really manky split rubber grommet. Wonder if I can find a new one of them. And we also have this chrome trim which needs to come off. Now this chrome trim's been rattling around like a single crayon in a pencil case. So we need to address that when it comes back. And it's looks like somebody's tried to salt it before, because there's 100 washers on each side. So I don't know what the problem is there, but we'll sort that out when it comes back. So that can go off to be painted. Right, so our next piece to strip down, guys, is the rear mudguard, which is quite a big old unit on this bike. So they're already loose, mainly the rear trim and the rear light that we've got to get out. The wiring had it, so I just chopped the wiring out. Ugh. It's not looking good, is it? So let's get some of these grommets out. Why is there a wire going down there? Why is there a wire here, guys? Something. There's a little Harley Davidson emblem. Get it in shot. Look. There's a little emblem there that now I can see it has got a red lens in it. I wonder if that should illuminate. I've never seen it illuminate. We've got to test it now, haven't we? Oh, there we go. One cover, one red lens, one 501 side light bulb. That should obviously illuminate then. Oh, we've got to get that working, haven't we? Couple of Phillips for the rear light, which I know worked. Good. So, we made a mess again, guys, and we need to have a clear up. So we've got a few bits done, guys. We've got the bearings in the gearbox cases. We turn that rear spacer down for the rear wheel to neaten that up. We've got the primary drive and the outer oil pump cover ready to go off for powder coating tomorrow. We've got the panniers and the lids and the side covers and the rear mudguard ready to go off to the body shop and be painted. The next time you see me, hopefully we'll be putting the gearbox back together, putting the gearbox in the bike, putting the swing arm in the bike, putting the rear wheel in the bike, and we can actually move it around a little bit easier again, and that will be nice. So I hope you've had a fantastic Easter weekend, guys. If you've made it this far, smash subscribe, drop us a comment, hit like, do all that good stuff. It's all free of charge. I'm Dino. This is Patch's Repair Shop, and I'm going to clean up some of this mess now. See you guys next week.